round 0.709 to one significant figure. So it's important to understand what significant figures are here. So it's rounding, it could be to the nearest 10, 100, 1,000, one decimal place, two decimal places. It's whatever is appropriate for that number. So for example, if I said that Wembley Stadium had seating for 55,300 people, I probably wouldn't say that because that's a bit of a mouthful. I'd probably round it to 60,000. Okay, or maybe even 55,000. But it just depends on the circumstance. So here I've got 0.709, so let's just write that out. Now the first thing to understand is that this 0, if there's a 0 at the beginning, it does not count as a significant figure. So that 0 does not count as a significant figure. If it's a 0 within the number, like this one, it does count as a significant figure because that is important. It's like saying if I wanted to round to one significant figure and I had 0.70p in my bank account and I rounded to one significant figure, that would be like saying I've got 0 in my bank account, which isn't true. There is a small number in my bank account. Okay, so let's go back to this number here. So I'm going to highlight the first significant figure. Now my first significant figure is not the 0. 0 does not count. Here's the first significant figure. It's 0.7. So it's this number that's either going to change or stay the same. So I need to think 0.7. I draw a number line. Here's 0.7. The next figure up would be 0.8, and bang in the middle is where we would start rounding up, so 0.75. So I need to think, what is this number, 0.709, which side of that 0.75 is it? Well, it's going to be way over here, 0.709. So it's closer to 0.7. Done. Let's have a look at the next one. So the next one, I've got 84472, and we're looking at 3 significant figures this time. So I look at my first significant figure, which is the 8, the second is the 4, and the third is this 4 here. So let's highlight that third significant figure, and again it's either that number that's going to stay the same or go up. So if I draw my number line, so I've got 84400, so it's either going to stay the same or it's going to go up 84500. Remember, I put those 00s in because we're actually rounding to the nearest 100 here. It's not going to become 844. If I said I had 84,472 in my bank account and I said, well, that's rounded to 844, that would be ridiculous. That's a lot less money that's actually there. It would be rounded to 844,000. So now let's have a look which way we've got to round it. So we've got bang in the middle would be 84450. Where does this number go on that number line? Well, it is below 844. It's actually above. It's above 84450 because 72 is more than 50. Which would mean it would round up to 84500. Okay, let's have a look at part C. So we've got 12490, and it's to 2 significant figures. So I find my first significant figure, which is the first number, the 1, and the second is the 2. So it's this number that I'm going to highlight, and that's the number that's either going to stay the same or go up. So draw out my number line. It's going to stay as 12,000. Or it's going to go up to 13,000. Bang in the middle at the point that it starts rounding up would be 12,500. So where does this number go? Well, it goes just a little bit below 12,500. It's about there, which means that it's going to round down to 12,000. Okay, let's look at part D. So we've got 5, 6, 0, 7, 0, 1, 2. And we're rounding to 3 significant figures. So I go to my first figure, which is 5. My second figure is 6. And my third, remember zeros do count if they're within the number, just not if they're before. So the 0 does count as the third significant figure. So I'm going to highlight that number there. So I'm going to draw my number line. And it's either going to stay as 5, 6, 0, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers after, so 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, or it's going to go up to 5, 6, 1, and again 1, 2, 3, 4 places after it. Now bang in the middle would be 5, 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm thinking, well, where does this number belong? So 5, 6, 0, 7, 0, 1, 2 is actually way down here. So actually it would be rounding down to 5, 6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So actually that's 5,600,000. And let's just have a look at the last one. So we've got 0.123456, and it wants it to 4 significant figures. Now this is the one that I have to remember. That 0 is not important. It's not significant, so I don't count it. So the 1 is my first significant figure. The 2 is my second. The 3 is my third. And the 4 is my fourth significant figure. So that's the one that I'm going to be highlighting. And then draw my number line. So it's either going to be 0.1234. Now I'm not going to bother putting zeros after this now, even though there's still 2 more places. There's no point putting those zeros after that decimal because it would mean exactly the same thing. 0.1234 is exactly the same as 0.123400. So there's no point writing it. It would be mathematically incorrect. So the lower is 0.1234. If it was going to round up, it would be 0.1235. Bang in the middle would be 0.12345, because that's halfway. Imagine if I did do this, if I had wrote these on, you can see that bang in the middle of 400 and 500 is 450, which would technically be what this is here. I'm just going to get rid of that for now. Okay, so we've got to decide where is this number. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be above the 5, 6. It's going to be about here. So it's more than the halfway mark. So it's going to round up to 0.1235.